On January 5th, I did a top 5 penny stocks video. We went over SESN, ISR, NMGRF, SNDL, and ABML. That's Sesson, Isoray, Nouveau Monde, Sundial, and American Battery Metals Corporation. Just to give a bit of an update from that video, on Sesson we're up 22%, ISR 353%, NMGRF 41% since that video, but we got in way earlier. Sundial 47% and ABML 51%. And in this video, I'm gonna be giving you my next penny stocks pick, give you my DD on it, and provide you with some groundbreaking news as to why I think this penny stock could be the next one to fly some more. Now, I noticed all across the internet, including YouTube comments, Reddit comments, etc., other people's channels who do a similar thing to me, I've been reading concerns of influencers or YouTubers being able to pump penny stocks. And that is something to be aware of for sure. However, I think that the labeling of it as a pump and dump is not really informed, right? I think that people who haven't been around the stock market a long time, who don't know what an actual pump and dump is, I think they're conflating the two things. These 5 penny stocks that I just named for you, they're all up, and that video that I put up was January 5th. It is now January 19th. So if it was a pump and dump, you would have seen some sort of orchestrated dump. Now, I assure you that, my fellow YouTubers along with myself, I'm pretty sure that they are all well-intentioned. I'm surely well-intentioned. There's a reason that I try to do these videos after the market closes and not in the beginning of the day when the market opens. But giving you my analysis is no different than Cramer giving you his analysis on CNBC, and surely he has a much bigger following than I do. In no way, shape, or form have we ever pumped something together in an orchestrated fashion or dumped something together in an orchestrated fashion. I just provide my analysis on the markets the way that I see it. And anyone who watches the videos are free to make their own decisions. At the end of the day, this is an entertainment channel only. I love teaching. I love showing you my analysis. I love doing analysis. This is in my wheelhouse. I like doing this sort of thing. Now, I'm not stupid. Obviously, there's a segment of the population that are going to watch the video and then immediately go out and try and buy the stock. And those group of buyers might actually run the stock price up further than it would otherwise be. But again, this is not unlike what you would see on Cramer or on CNBC or on TD Ameritrade's channel when they're talking about stocks. Earlier today, Richard Branson was on CNBC and the price of VGAC, which is his SPAC, was spiking through the roof. Anyway, you guys might not have needed that preamble, but I gave it to you anyway. With that said, if you want to be part of our trading group where I provide my analysis, my charts, my portfolios, every trade that I'm personally making, how I'm trading this stuff, link is in the description below. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the stock that I'm talking about is one that you might be familiar with already. It's called ALPP, that's a ticker symbol, and it is Alpine 4 Technologies. Now this stock is, I think, can be rated as the best penny stock performer of 2021 so far. This stock started out at 4 cents back in November and currently it's trading at $3. Now here is why I like Alpine going forward, and here's why I bought Alpine today. For one, the technicals, you see it right in front of you. We are bouncing off of the 21 EMA. And if you're a fan of this channel, you know how much I talk about these retracements to the major moving averages. And why did the stock drop towards the end of December? Well, at the end of December, there was an announcement that Alpine was going to be applying to make a move into the NASDAQ. They want to get listed on the NASDAQ. So this is a binary event. And with that listing, obviously, we get a little bit of good news because I think it was announced on the 24th right here. And so we got a couple of days of run up. Well, the next day was actually a 42% pump. And then you saw profit taking. And now we are resting at the 21 EMA. Now, as we know with the S&P listings, and when I talked about Tesla, for instance, going to the S&P, these stocks usually see a pump after they enter the indexes. So in this case, with Alpine sitting at the 21 EMA, this is just one of the reasons why I like it here before actually getting into the NASDAQ. Now, when is it going to get into the NASDAQ? Well, it usually takes around 45 days from the date of listing. Now, there is a little bit of confusion as to when did Alpine actually apply to be listed into the NASDAQ, because on this article here, it says December 24th. However, I went to their Twitter account and they tweeted some cryptic tweet saying NASDAQ bound, and this was on January 15th. And the actual tweet itself says, "Thank you for submitting your listing application for Alpine 4 Technologies, blah, blah, blah." So I don't know if they were just reiterating the fact that they were listed, or that they applied for listing on the NASDAQ. I don't know if they were reiterating that on January 15th or they actually did it on January 15th. So that's why I'm saying it's up in the air. However, I want to get in before the actual listing. Now, there's going to be a whole host of people that when this thing, if and when it does, pump to $5 and above, and after it is listed in NASDAQ, people will want to jump on board. Now, why is NASDAQ listing important? Currently, this stock is OTC, and OTC means over the counter. So if for instance, Robinhood traders do not have access to ALPP at the moment. So imagine if it is listed, if and when it is listed on NASDAQ, just opening up the doors to that wave of rabid investors and traders on Robinhood, how much that can drive the price up if there is still interest from a DD perspective in this stock. So the NASDAQ listing and the technicals are two reasons why I'm bullish on Alpine. Now let's get into a little bit more. If you guys don't even know what Alpine does, Alpine is basically a holding company that is a multifaceted conglomerate of technologies. They are acquiring companies like crazy in different sectors. So they have an automotive sector, and one of their fastest growing sectors is the drone sector. Now, why is this important? Well, one of the reasons that Alpine's price actually pumped was back when DJI, which is a Chinese company, was delisted by the State Department. Did I say DJI? I meant DJI, which is the famous drone company. It's a Chinese company, and it was delisted from the stock market due to its affiliation with China's government. So a lot of investors saw Alpine as the next in line. So I think Alpine has two drone companies. They recently acquired another one. And one of those, at least one of those drone companies are going to be in the aerospace/defense segment, which is huge. So I think one of the drone companies targets the retail market like DJI, and the other one is based in the aerospace/government defense sector. Now, yet another reason why I'm bullish on that is because remember I talked about ARKX, which is the aerospace ETF by ARK, and they were looking for drone and aerospace-based companies. So if Alpine can actually grow that division to be significant, then we might get a look from outside investors, including ARK. ARK doesn't rule the world, although sometimes it seems like they do, but including ARK as well as some other institutional investors. Okay, now why else am I bullish on this company? Well, let's take a look at their growth. Here is Alpine's revenue growth since 2017. It's been steadily rising. In 2017, it did about 7.86 million in revenue, and currently we're doing about $34 million in revenue. Now, the CEO actually released his annual letter today, and basically just going over the roadmap, and there's a lot of good stuff in here. I will link it in the description if you want to read it. But he's basically talking about the drone companies they acquired. And let me get down to the revenue section. And then here he says, "I'm thrilled to say that we are estimating that our annualized revenue grew by at least 19% or 33.5 million for 2020. We also estimated our sales would have exceeded 44 million for 2020. For 2021, without any new acquisitions, we anticipate Alpine 4 to generate 42 to 55 million in annualized revenue, and potentially much more if COVID-19 doesn't inflict market inhibiting barriers like it did in 2020. We expect the bulk of this revenue to occur in Q2 and Q3 2021, and there is a significant backlog of work from 2020. Now, this is a really important catalyst because if we combine the NASDAQ listing along with the fact that they will be reporting increased revenues later this year, then we have reason to believe that its current stock price, which is now discounted from all-time highs after folks took profits from the initial NASDAQ announcement. I really like this setup of technicals and fundamentals combined. I always say it, that when technicals and fundamentals combine, that is the best 1-2 punch combo in the market. So the company has a market cap of over 400 million, and there are 273 employees currently. For a penny stock, I would say compared to other penny stocks that I've done DD on, that is stellar. And if you combine that with this growth in revenue, that's something you really want to see from penny stocks that you are actually investing in. One other thing I'll point out is the company Impossible Aerospace that they acquired, the drone company they acquired, has some really interesting people behind it. It was started by a guy named Spencer Gore, who's a young engineer who worked at Tesla. And if you go down the list of the holding company itself, as well as people behind some of the companies that they acquired, there are some heavy hitters in there with some great experience. Anyway, guys, that is my pick. That is it for this video. ALPP, that's the ticker symbol. I like it here at $3 in the midterm, targeting around $4.50. Hopefully gets above 5 after the NASDAQ listing. As I always say, position size accordingly. Penny stocks are always risky. I could completely be wrong. Learn how to set stop limits. Don't overextend yourself. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which one of the penny stocks that I had initially listed you own, and let me know if you are in ALP or looking to get in. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.